Mhm. Yeah, go
Or
ahead.
there's just one caveat I guess I'd like to make with my statement because
Okay.
I say this, but I, one, am not heavy on social media. And so I think that perhaps if I were and I got a lot of negative attention and a lot of negative criticism, I would assume that would affect me quite negatively. But because that's so, I mean, maybe with this podcast, right? If some large, I guess, quantity of individuals were to give us hate comments, I think I would be quite affected. So I think it's because I make an aim to not be in a position where I get a lot of attention, whether it be positive or negative. Instead, I aim to do things that I'm able to do, for the most part by myself or just with
Mhm.
individuals I like. And so I'm not wary of that criticism. So I guess if, I don't know, we end up gaining some kind of popularity. Hopefully, it would just be in some niche where people in general like us. I don't think we're going to say anything too controversial. So, but I think that was just why I like asterisk I wanted to say.
hmm Yeah, like the way that I view it is like I view it kind of like a muscle, you know? Like, for example, like I don't think anybody's necessarily, maybe some people are. I just wasn't one of those people um who was like born like, a, a good speaker. I don't think most people are just born and know how to speak well. I think it's something that you practice and you get better at the more that you do it. And in the same way, like, you know, like because we like both of us are relatively inactive on social media and inactive kind of just um publicly, like we don't really have a public life, I would say. Like we both have probably relatively private lives. That isn't something that we've necessarily ever had to deal with before. But I think over time you probably get better at it, like the more that you are kind of in the public eye and the more hate comments that you do receive, it's like it probably doesn't bother you as much over time. Like it's like kind of like a muscle. So at least that's what I'm expecting. Like maybe it will affect us more than I think it will, but I think it's like you just kind of have to put yourself out there anyway. Because I think with that, it's like I don't think we'll say anything that's like overtly offensive because I think both of us think before we speak and we are considerate of people in general. And yeah, we're thoughtful people. So I don't think we're ever gonna say anything that's like overtly just, and we're not mean, So I don't think like we'll have any issues on that front, you know? But we do have opinions, and I think like if you take a stance on basically anything these days, like there's gonna be people that take an opposing stance to whatever you're saying, So it's like you can't really avoid it to an extent. Like I feel like if you have kind of any strong position on anything, like you're gonna get some hate from the opposing side. And that's just kind of comes with the territory. And I think that's okay. Like I think we'll be able to deal with it. We'll just have to see, I guess. But, I think we'll probably get better at it as time goes on, hopefully. But thankfully we haven't, I mean, we're not like, we haven't received any comments yet. So, um, I think it'll be interesting. So we also haven't received any negative comments yet. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I don't know if I was thinking about it earlier today, but I think I was thinking about it. I was like curious, like, how would I respond to like the first negative comment that I receive? Like I didn't know like how bad it would be or what my reaction would be. Like most of my brain was saying like, oh, I probably wouldn't care that much. Like I would probably just brush it off, but it hasn't actually happened yet. Like I haven't actually received a negative comment yet. So I guess we'll find out. But hopefully, yeah, we'll get big enough to actually receive negative comments. But it'll just
Yeah,
be something to see. Yeah.
like I think it would definitely depend on the comment. But I definitely don't think at all that I'm immune to criticism. It's just, for the most part, I don't know. I think when it's criticism you receive in person or by someone you vaguely know, you have some sort of indication as to why they might think that. And so it's easy to judge, okay, do I think it's valid or not? But I think it's just a random person. It hits different, as they say. I don't know. I would have to
Hmm.
see. I would honestly have to
Hmm.
see. Because I think that kind of goes back to when I was saying when I'm driving on the road, if I get a middle finger, like things like that bothered me more when it's just such an abrupt
Hmm.
display of disrespect or rudeness.
Hmm.
And, okay, a while ago I did get flipped off and it generally did make me mad. So I think I guess that's not necessarily, well, it's criticism on my driving. I don't know why. That specifically really does make me mad. But so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I think we'll be fine. I'm not too worried, but we'll see. I did,
Yeah, it
however,
remains to be seen. Hmm.